in so many flames and so many colors of flames from so many directions, the question becomes, which flame is the focus for myself and my society? Well, we're here to help break it down and make it easier for all of us to comprehend so that we can battle the fires of hatred and ignorance and prejudice and racism and phobias, and we can then bring forth the cool breeze of happiness, peace, tranquility, and hope for all people. So, with that, I'm going to turn it back to Carl. I think I've spoken too much already. And I'm going to ask our dear brother Carl tonight to tell us what was the so called Twitter survey that we do every Monday afternoon and what you, our listeners, voted for. Carl?
You see that word focus? That's what I need tonight. Just a little bit of that focus so that I can actually speak, which I'm obviously still struggling to do, but that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you follow us on Twitter, VENNNETWORK, Venn Network, every Monday we post a poll for you, our fans, you, our listeners, you, those that care in our lives. You can vote and you can help us choose what topic we're going to talk about on our show, because it's the topic you want to talk about and it's the topic you want to engage with. So that's why we post these polls, so you can vote and you can care. And the more you retweet, the further it grows, and the bigger survey size we have. And so I just want to share that I had a very weird thing happen this evening. That, around 7:00 my time, I looked at the poll on my phone, and we had a definite winner. I mean, it wasn't by much, but it was a definite winner. But then when I opened this on my desktop, it was back to being a tie, and the poll had already ended when I looked at it earlier. So I don't know what happened, but ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie this week. The options were, yes, vaccines work. Give me your tired. And what's the deal with, which is my favorite grab bag topic, which is we'll talk about whatever is on the imam's mind this evening. And our tie tonight was with give me your tired and what's the deal with. So there you go. Dead heat at 37.5% on both of those. So obviously we're doing better than they're doing in the Iowa caucuses. So that has something to be said for it. But yes, so just as a little bit of background, the Give Me Your Tired topic obviously came from the Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired, give me your weak, give me your huddled masses yearning to be free. And the reason I put this on the poll this week was because I saw a news story last week where they were saying if you've ever accessed public funds or public welfare of any sort, food stamps, that kind of stuff, public assistance rather, you are not eligible to hold a green card. You're not eligible to apply for citizenship. And apparently they are rolling out new guidelines that say simply applying for a green card is a form of public assistance. So therefore, you are not eligible for a green card. So if you apply for a green card, you can't have a green card because you have to apply for it, and that's public assistance. So we've gone from a nation of immigrants that was built by immigrants and migrants. I mean, I'm not going to go into it tonight, but do your research. Do your research. Look at the railroads. Look at how that was built. Look at these great cities, these skyscrapers, and who built those, and when they were built, and how they were built. We're a nation of immigrants that have come in and they've, strived for the next level of life. And through the American dream, they've accomplished that. And now we've reached a point in our society where it's like, oh, you have to apply to get a green card? Well, then you're not qualified to have a green card. So please just move on. So that was what that topic was. And of course, what's the deal with is the grab bag. And so with all of that being said, Imam Azhar, back to you.
So I'm going to spend the next few minutes trying to loop all these topics together, starting first with Give Me Your Tired. I want everyone to put aside these trigger words: immigrant, migrant, immigration, Mexicans, foreigners, as Trump is rolling out an addition of three or four more countries to his travel ban. It's just increasing more and more. I want you to put all these things aside because when you hear these words, you can kind of tell if someone's a Democrat or a Republican, just because their usage of, excuse me, these words. And I want to ask you a simple question, and I want you to answer us tonight if you can. People who came to America didn't come because they wanted to invest their money. They didn't come to America because they wanted a bigger backyard. They didn't come to America because the Hardees and the Burger King here was better than that in England and France. They came here because there was a need to leave where they were. So by default, the masses of those who migrated here in the 1800s, I'm not going to bring the slaves and everyone into it because it becomes another trigger discussion. Whoever came willingly, they came because there was a level of desperation that brought them here. If you understand that and agree with me on this and let the facts and history say and state what the facts are, you will know there is one thing that came in response of that. That they weren't willing to live the same life in the same misery, in the same dark hole that they came from. Rather, they were willing to pull up their sleeves and do whatever it took to make life better. And the difference between America and their old countries was that America offered the opportunity for that or anything else. That's all. And that's why I think it's the Empire State Building was built within what 2 years or something at the time of the Great Depression. On low wages, people put this iron steel building together. Why? Because there was that sense of desperation. I'm gonna make this home. I'm going to make this my home. I'm going to make this my future. I'm going to make this our world, the world that we wanted, the world that we didn't have. And that's why America is in its positive points where it is today. Now, when we go to this position where we say we're not going to allow anyone to come in until or unless they're rich, because that's exactly what's being said in different words. When you say a person who applies to this country through a visa or a process to gain a green card or has a green card and is in the process of citizenship, and if they use any type of social services or funds, then they're not worthy for citizenship, to me is actually stabbing ourselves in our own back or chopping our own feet off and just making ourselves timber fall. And I'll tell you why. Because people with real money nowadays don't feel that they need to come to America alone to invest. The fact that our president has banned Nigeria, I think they're going to be part of the ban in the end of this month that starts, a country that's rich with people who have money to invest. There's other countries they can go to. People are investing in the UK. People are investing in Europe. People are investing in parts of Africa, China, Arabia, Dubai. People are investing everywhere. America is not the only place for investment anymore. So if we are going to create a system of fear that only the elite can come here, let it be known that over 50% of the elite don't want to come here. It's not like they need their money to be here. Number two, if we're going to kick every person out because we deem that they're going to be a burden on society, everyone who came here was a burden on their society. They were nothing. They couldn't do much, but they came here and showed us a real, true dream society. And that's what we call it, the American dream. And putting that all together, the people who've come to this country have come with a desperation even now. If they're coming from across the border in the south, or they're and legally, I'm not talking illegally, or they're coming across the pond, maybe the Atlantic or the Pacific, there's something that's desperate that's driving them, and the only hope they have is to come further away from, as far away as possible from where they are, to begin the life that they always wanted. At the age of 60, they're ready to work like they're 40 in order to make that dream of reality. And when we make them succeed, we allow America to succeed. And when America succeeds, we all succeed. Yes, there's going to be times when you're going to lose a loved one, you're going to have a health problem, you're going to, for example, be laid off from a job, but that doesn't mean they've come here to benefit from our social services, because realistically, the social services in what we call a socialist society of Canada or Finland or Europe is much better than the social services that we provide here in America, with all respect. Canada gives every newborn mother 6 months off or a year off. Now they're giving fathers off. Children get $300 to $400 a month from the day that they're born, so parents could buy the needs for the child. Uh, I don't think people are getting it here in America because we're so fixated in where we are. I remember the neighbor I had in the mosque in Fort Myers. George was an amazing guy. Every morning he was like King of the Hill. He literally looked like the guy in King of the Hill. White T-shirt, blue jeans, holding his beer can, 9 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, "Iman, how you doing?" And we would talk. Loved the guy to death. But truly, when I found out George didn't even go to Tampa, he didn't even go to Miami, he didn't go to Orlando, he didn't pass the limits of the city of Fort Myers, which is what, 30 miles radius or something. He didn't even pass it's less than that actually. He didn't pass the city. He lived his whole life within the compounds and confinements of the city borderlines. So I can't expect him, when we talk about global issues, to understand where our world is when he hasn't even been outside the city of Fort Myers to Tampa or Miami or Fort Lauderdale or anywhere else. So we're living in this cocoon thinking that, we're being robbed. No, other countries are giving willingly their countries the services that they need to reach the potential that they know they can reach, so the country benefits at the end of the day. No one should rob America. Anyone who's coming to rob America, steal from America, this is our beautiful land. Anyone who tries to steal from it, our government is smart enough to take them out of this country and to get rid of them and blacklist them. Everyone's coming here for the hope, and let's continue being the hope. And we're talking about hope at a time when viruses are plaguing our world. Our stock market is dipping. It dipped close to 2,000 points in the last 2 days. Gold rose sharply, 30 something dollars yesterday, kind of tapered off today to 1650. Our global currency and our American dollar as a currency is very vulnerable. MSN.com reported that a recession is looming just yesterday. We have enough problems. We have enough health issues. So why then would we make an issue when we have a million and one issues to focus on? We got a we got a democratic debate going on tonight that is more corrupt than anything else I've seen in our recent times in the last 3 years, where it's full of people who are the big donors for the big people. And at the end of the day, when you're saying we want to be Donald Trump, but then we're gonna toot the whistle of a Democratic candidate who is not the candidate that we want, who's the one we want and against the one we don't want, it goes to show the level of hypocrisy that lies in our system when we say we want good, but good means only what I deem as good. So we're giving up. I'm starting to give up hope on a lot of people and a lot of institutions for what they say and what they claim, because they say a good word, but they mean it in their version. Americans need to come together. We're 330 million strong people. We are a nation that's resilient, that in the trenches of dirt, when we take care of our animals or sow the seed for our harvest and our crop, and we build those foundations for buildings and houses that families will live in happily. We're doing it because we believe in the soil of America, we believe in the air of America, we believe in the opportunity to pursue our dream. So vaccinations for a coronavirus that's going to become a global pandemic. The CDC is saying beware. It's warning us. It's coming. It's going to cross into our borders very soon at large proportions. I believe Saudi Arabia had 244 cases, 64 deaths. Italy has 150 cases. Right, and Sunday morning they realized they're getting so many cases. It's traveling the world. So be careful, be safe, be cognizant, be healthy, make everyone else healthy. One thing, Carl, that makes us unhealthy is stress. Stress kills our immune system. It cracks our immune system. So even if a person across the street, 300 meters ahead of us, has coronavirus and they sneeze, it's going to hit us because that's how weak our immune system is. So let's not stress. Let's not be a source of stress. Let's not let's not make stress go viral. Let's calm things down. As they have those stickers, be calm and whatever else you want to do to it. Fill in the gaps, but be calm. Be calm in life, and know that America's not here after so many years by fluke. We're here because the people made it come this far. I have another topic to discuss, but before I do that, Carl, go back to you, listen to your thoughts, and of course that of our listeners, and hopefully can respond to their questions and concerns, and then you know talk about that third topic tonight. What's the deal with?
So, for the record, and I know this is completely personal opinion, um, but uh, the uh, the Hardees in Cairo is the best. I mean, and I know that's strictly personal opinion, but yeah, it's Hardees in Cairo is the best because it's 100% halal. So you can just walk in and order anything off the menu, even like their big like baconator burgers. It's all
Mhm.
like turkey or beef bacon. So yeah, that's just my personal standpoint on that
So, out
issue.
of all places, why'd you take us all the way down to Cairo? You should have kept us here in America. And I see now I'm
Because
craving for a
no,
burger.
because you were talking about why people come here, and you were saying they didn't come here because because of Burger King and McDonald's. And you said Hardee's. They don't come here for Hardee's and Burger King. And I was just confirming that you don't, because the Hardee's in Cairo is better than a Hardee's here. Because a Hardee's here, I can't just go in and order anything off the menu, as opposed to a Hardee's in Cairo where I can. So that's not why I would come here. I was
Mhm.
confirming what you were saying.
Thank you. Okay, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
I know I took the overland route to get there, but I was agreeing with you.
Alhamdulillah. Why not? Of course, alhamdulillah.
But yes, you are 100% right that the coronavirus is kind of coming, and we have to be prepared for it, and they're not really sure what all it's going to look like. But the other thing that I saw the other day was that, and it was one of these Trump appointees. So, and I don't remember what department he was from within the government, but I
Mhm.
know he was a Trump appointee. He was saying that our economy is actually starting to struggle due to the lack of immigrants that we have in the country currently. And we actually need more to help with our economy and to boost the economy. So we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot in the long run with everything. But so yeah, I mean, that's where we are. So just going over to the comments real quick. Sunshine says, I don't know why. Tonight, the beginning of the show, you missed it was my fault because I thought I had clicked a button, but apparently I did not. But that's okay. And yes, I did go with the tie because, we have the graphic. It was a tie. I couldn't lie my way through it. Uh, and she also says that the dumbest thing she has seen or heard in 24 hours, which is sad because it means I hear stupid stuff every day. Yes, there's a lot of stupid stuff out there. Um, and she said that the whatever Trump official it was that said we need more immigrants will be the next to go. And I actually agree with you because I don't think Trump will appreciate that message. But it goes to show that when you just say we only want rich, educated people, that it doesn't really serve the needs of our society because we need everybody from every background doing everything. So, yeah, there you go. Back to you for your third topic, sir.
Um, what's the deal with India? What's the deal with the rise of fascism and hatred? Right now, there's problems happening in pockets of the city of Delhi. A mosque was burnt. Um, People's businesses are being petrol bombed. Uh, it's happening a lot from Hindu extremists and also Muslims in retaliation. I'm not here to take anyone's side, but I've been to India 3, 4 times, and I found it to be a very unique country. It has historical roots in Islam. has a Hindu government that Gandhi wanted a government that wouldn't be one way or the other. It'd be open to all people. You have Jews and Christians and Jains and Buddhists and Hindus and Sikhs and the whole nine yards. And Trump was just there 2 days ago and he praised India as a democratic or a democracy, sorry, that it exemplifies openness for all people. And I just don't understand what's happening. What's the deal with hatred? Like, if you hate someone, say in their face. You know how it is, Carl? It's so hypocritical. Like, if I don't like you, it's so hard for me to say to you that I hate you or I don't like you. But it's so easy for me to come and just shoot you in the head or something. Like, what is going on with our world? You can't even say the thing. Like, we're so hypocritical. We'll say some nice things in front of each other, but behind our back, we'll speak ill. But when it comes to like the next step up of hatred, it's like, I'm gonna kill you. Where does this come from? I just don't understand. I was baffled by the news and the stories that I've been getting about what's happening in India. I called some of our elected officials to tell them of my concerns and to allow the White House to realize that they need to make a statement on behalf of the president, or the president has to make a statement and say, look, India, you guys are doing great, but guess what? Uh, Exemplify your greatness. Don't belittle it and don't undermine it by hurting each other and hitting on each other. It just doesn't make sense. So that's really my what's the deal with, and that's what's the deal with India, man. What's going on with people? And I'm scared that hatred is going to become the next viral thing in our world. We've already seen it happen in the Arabian world. We've seen it happen in Asia. We've seen it happen now in parts of Europe, Germany. The white supremacists killed 8 people. A man in England was stabbed in the mosque at Regent's Park. It's coming around. And the question is, what's the deal with it? So, listeners, do you know what's the deal with what's happening in our world? I don't. I'm tired. I just told my congregation tonight, you need to start praying more, fast more, and ask God for love on this earth, because we believe as Muslims it's our deeds that will bring goodness, and it's the absence of those deeds that will give way for such vice. So we're going to start amplifying our deeds of prayer, fasting, recitation of the Holy Book, and imploring the Lord Almighty to bring a solution. So, yeah, that's really what I wanted to say. Carl, do you have anything to add to that?
So I will add something to that because I googled something today because I was very confused. You know, we often think about, you know, I want to start with Judaism, but I'm not going to be able to do it, so you'll have to forgive me. But um, in Christianity, you have the verse from the Bible where Jesus says, turn the other cheek.
Hmm.
And in Islam, we're taught that violence is not the answer; it's never the answer. And even if you do have to go to war for one reason or another, there's a whole list of things. Don't attack women, don't attack children, don't mark a tree, leave everything the way it was when you found it, don't attack holy sites. There's this whole list of things that you're not supposed to do. So today I saw a video of a Muslim man being accosted in the streets by a bunch of Hindus. So I said, you know what? Let me Google this. I said, is violence okay in Hinduism? And I actually found this short article, and I'm going to paraphrase. I know it's not going to be perfect, so forgive me. But I found this short article from Georgetown. It was a professor at Georgetown, and he actually was saying that there's a story in Hinduism of these two gods that were talking, and they actually justified violence, just random violence, like what we're seeing. That in their religion, it's okay to do things like that because of karma. Maybe this other person, because he's Muslim, this is karma coming back for him, so it's okay to treat them like that. And I was totally blown away by a religion that wouldn't teach peace and togetherness as a core belief. And I just don't understand that. And I was reading more into, and correct me, what Modi, is that his name?
Yep. Hmm.
I was reading more into Modi and some of his, let's call them congressional, representatives from different regions, and they're even calling Christians to be scourges on India. And I'm like, what's wrong with you, man? What's the deal with this? Why are you acting like this? And for me, I know why we're not hearing. I know why this administration is not speaking out. I know why this administration isn't. I mean, this administration is the authors of the Muslim ban and the quote unquote shithole countries, and so you can't expect them to go to India and say, hey, you shouldn't be beating those Muslims. They're not allowed in our country, but you shouldn't be beating them in the streets like that. I'm pretty sure that members of our administration are cheering and they're like, oh, good, finally, look at what they're doing. How can we implement that? But I'm so just beside myself that it's kind of okay and it's not bigger news, and it's not like, whoa, why are we doing this, or why are we allowing this? And it goes back to what you're saying, is that it's not just India. It does spread. I know, my wife and I were talking about taking a vacation, just the two of us, and we were
Hmm.
running down lists of places where we could possibly go this summer.
Hmm.
And, it was like Italy. I was like, nope. And it was like, oh, Germany. Nope. And you're just running down this list and you're like, no, I let's go to Texas and see Imam Azhar. Besides, there might be snow there. So I mean, that's where we end up. So before I turn it back over, let me go look at the comments here. Yes, I saw that, Sunshine. I saw that tweet today. You tweeted that, and I saw the follow up. Hang tight. I'll bring that up later because that was super weird. Uh, she says people are just at their most desperate and stressed. Scarcity of resources. I don't know what. I'm so tired. I can't even read this evening. Scarcity of resources, abundance of evil. Evil people cannot take this level of craziness and uncertainty. And you're right. I mean, there is just this level of uncertainty and craziness. But there's a good segue. Thank you for setting that up, Sunshine. Um, Speaking of craziness, before I turn it back over to you, there it was a scourge in DC today of
Hmm.
as we talked, it was raining, and apparently somebody decided to run through DC and steal windshield wipers off people's cars. I don't know if that was supposed to be like an art performance or it was a public statement or whatever, but yeah, somebody ran through DC and just stole windshield wipers off everybody's car. That seems not only like an abundance of evil and a scarcity of resources, but that also seems like an abundance of time, because I don't know who's got the time to run through and steal windshield wipers. But anyway, back to you, sir.
Wow. People are doing weird things. So, you know how when you read that thing about the Hindus and what they said, and you're like, what is all this about? It's like how when a Muslim reads about what ISIS and Al Qaeda says, you're like, what is this all about? I don't think I need to say more for our listeners. Anyone could twist a religion or bastardize a religion. That's exactly what's happening. But that will not stop us from seeking partnerships and understanding with people of all faiths, and to bring an end to religious based hatred that is it's rising in our world, and it's getting scary. And there's a reason why people are leaving religion, because they cannot understand and they cannot fathom anymore the twisted religion ideology that continues to prevail in our societies. So tonight, as we close, there's so much to talk about. What is the deal with the ongoing debate, and what's the deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs losing to the Carolina Hurricanes with a goalkeeper who cleans the ice. Like, he stopped so many shots, and Toronto lost to a guy who's not even a goalkeeper. It's like, what's the deal with that? What's
It's
the deal with
because all the
spring?
snow and ice have moved south that the Canadians can't practice anymore. Winter is now in South Carolina and Texas, not in Canada.
That is so true. It's actually so warm up north. Actually, tonight they're saying there's going to be a foot of snowfall, but that's like the first major storm in this year. And that we're in the ending of February, when February is like the worst month of winter month. It's like one day of it that's coming up potentially. So what's the deal with climate change? What's the deal with everyone's anger? What's the deal with everyone's attitude? What's the deal with our world being what it's become? So guys and girls, brothers and sisters, listeners from all over the world, let's get our act together. Let's start talking about why. Let's start talking about how. Let's talk about why things are the way they are and how they can become what they're supposed to be. If we can start with these two questions, I promise you, we're going to be actually shifting the plates of this earth and bringing forth goodness for the world you and I live in, and for the world that people after us will live in tomorrow, God willing, inshallah. So, with that, back to you, Carl.
Mm. And I know because it is 10 o'clock, and I know that it is late in the evening, that we are going to wrap this up, although we have hit our 35-minute mark. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining us this evening at such a late hour. There will be a time change to the show coming soon, so stand by for that. We have to talk about that here because the time will be changing in general soon, so will be a time change to the show as well. I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening, everybody that joined us online, everybody that joined us in the chat room. Thank you, Sunshine. Thank you to everybody that was watching but didn't leave a comment. Make sure you head over to vennetwork.org to catch up on all past episodes of this and new episodes, new back episodes will be posting soon. We have a publication plan in place for that, so stand by. Also, just to put a bug in everybody's ear, the 2020 Podcast Awards, I believe I read that listener voting starts in June or July, so stand by for that. That's going to be coming at you. We're going to try to make another swing at it this year. And if you want to support the network, support the host, and support the great shows that are on the network, head over to vennetwork.org, click the little swag tag, and get yourself a T-shirt like what I'm wearing. And very soon, inshallah, I will have the new logo up there for anybody that would like that. So I think that about wraps it up for us tonight. So thank you, everybody. And until next time, we will say, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.